At the heart of this book is a thesis that all can accept. All human decision makers are victims of a chronic hazard. That emotion and motivation unconsciously distort and bias all thought and perception. Right? It's like crazy. This is what we talk about all the time. Detach from your emotions. You get distorted. What do you write in ego clouds all decisions, right? That's what he's talking about. Man's needs, biological, social, or neurotic, act on his perception of the world around him and the decisions he makes. No one, in other words, operates cleanly. What a good thing to remember. No one operates cleanly. You all have it going on. I did the Underground podcast a while back, and I talked about the fact that we're all insane. And that is something, the definition of insanity is that your world doesn't match reality. And the fact of the matter is, my world doesn't match your reality, Dave. I know we're probably pretty freaking close because we work in the same job. We have a similar background, but there's no way that you see things exactly the way I see it. Right. Carrie, you and I have a similar background, but there's no way that we match up. Our realities don't match. So that means we're all insane. It's just a matter of what degree. And that means everyone you interact with is kind of insane. That means their reality is different than yours. So when you're in a leadership position, you're dealing with other people. Their reality is different than yours. So when you're making a decision and they hear that decision, their reality is different than yours. No one, in other words, operates cleanly. Singleness of mind, a key ingredient of successful command, is always under siege by doubt, worries, and distractions. We all churn through a sludge of life experiences that have formed us and left us with key strengths and weaknesses. The challenge for military commanders is all the greater because the stakes of their decisions are so high and because they operate in stressful environments amid hunger, fatigue, heat or cold, sleep deprivation, and the relentless ticking of the clock. Not for nothing did Napoleon call unforgiving time the grand element in warfare, which is epic because lately I've been talking about the leadership loop. And the number one thing I said you have to consider, the number one thing that's in the front of my mind all the time in any leadership situation is time. What does he call it? The grand element. Time is what you have to think about. And sometimes the thought is, oh, we got plenty of time, which is cool. But you got to think about that. People that don't keep time in front of mind, they're always behind. They're always behind. Bro, we're 2 paragraphs
Dude.
in.
I know. And I almost said something. And
Go ahead. Go ahead. What do you got?
I always like hearing how these people write. And the word, like, this is a good writer. This guy writes well.
Yeah.
I don't even know
and this is just the forward, bro.
But the fact that he went through all those things, he was talking about heat, cold, and I don't even remember all the words. And when he got to time, he added the additional component of unrelenting,
unforgiving.
Because
time.
the heat, it can relent, or we've got maybe some technology that we're gonna wear a coat or some cold weather. Like, we can mitigate all these other things, but time is unrelenting.
There is no mitigation,
and that will be forever. Yeah, we're not gonna technology our way out of the time issue. Like, oh, we'll just slow time down. Like, we can manage the heat and all those other elements. I just like the way he adds that piece to it, and what's already like the way he writes is awesome.
That's why, as a leader and as a person, it has to be the number one thing you think about. It's the only thing that will give you no slack whatsoever.
Right.
No, zero. That's it. That clock is ticking.